Hi guys, so sorry if there's been a bit of a delay. The races were delayed due to the ice on the course this morning. So I hope you've all had a happy new year and are looking forward to watching this race, which should be a good battle between Thomas Mean and Cam Mason. Just before we start, I'd just like to say apologies if the stream may cut off. It's just due to power reasons and doing this on a phone. You might have tuned in to the women's race where Zan Kreese won, and that was a really good race, quite unexpected, and yeah, it was really nice to see that because we haven't seen her win for a little bit. In terms of favourites for this race, it's really very tight to tell because, so if you look at UCI rankings, they've both been doing a lot of different like races in Europe and World Cups and Expo Bad Camas Cross and that sort of thing. So right now, if you look at UCI rankings, Cameron Mason is 25th and Thomas Mean is 26th. So we're in for a guaranteed good race. If you didn't watch the women's race, it's okay because it's going to be on my YouTube channel as a recap if you'd be interested in watching that. Also, so is the youth race from yesterday. So not long till I start now. You can just see over there we've got our podiums happening for the women's elite race. Cameron Mason is defending the national title, but Thomas Mean has been on really good form this season and has won all of the national trophies. Also, it's an interesting course, tough conditions. Earlier in the morning it was very icy, but later on now it's very sticky mud and picks up a lot. So that is our race just started. Okay. So fast start, both Thomas Mean and Cameron Mason at the front there. And we will wait for them to come back round from the bomb holes until we see the positions once they've thinned out a bit.
Yeah, probably your job bag. I'm just going to wait for them to come up here.
No. Amy, I think you're from it.
Oh my god, everyone's flying in the car.
Also another rider who is up there. So in first place right now we have Alfie Amy, then I believe that is Toby Barnes. Thomas Mean in fourth place currently.
Why is he looking behind him? That's slowing him down. They're not
Cannot see Cam Mason.
They will do over the course of the hour. You'll have 2 or 3 riders on the top. around the course. That's just how it is. It's also the sort of event where if you're not at the front wall of it, you would really struggle to catch up with it.
Oh yeah, back in it.
Because it's too difficult to try and catch speed, you've just got to try and stay at the front.
Take it back, go over the.
What?
Is this a competition?
Yeah.
Why?
Most riders not going to the pits on the first lap, understandably, as everybody wants to get a fast start and get off into the race.
Oh yeah, it is quite
So yeah, it's been interesting because Alfie Amy he's in his first year in elites, and we'll see what mark he makes on the other riders in this race.
Then he would scream at you.
Like I said before, the conditions here are very strange. So you can see what looks a bit like snow, but it's actually more of an icy sort of frost. And this morning, that was everywhere. It made it super slippy and hard for the riders to stay upright. And yeah, now most of that has gone because it's later on in the day and it has warmed up a bit. But yeah, it's still very, very slippy, but it's also now a mixture of slippiness and cloggy mud as well. So in the women's race, there was generally half lap changes because it became so clogged up. This section that I'm at right now is probably one of the most technical bits. You can't really see through the trees, but the first obstacle you enter is the hurdles, and then from the hurdles it's quite a sharp turn into the steps and up this really slippy off-camber bank where it's probably most wise to run it because nobody has ridden it really, and when you try and ride it but you're guaranteed not to, then you just end up sliding down the hill or falling off. And these corners here have been really treacherous. Anna Kay we saw pulled out in the women's race, not sure why, but she also caught her wheel caught her spokes on this stake we can see right in the corner that goes down onto the off-camber banks. So number 4 and number 5 we have Toby and Dan Bonds, which is slightly confusing. Also Thomas Mean and Cameron Mason seem to be inseparable, even their names next to each other on the start list. Speaking of the start list, I thought it was unusual that there was a total of 15 riders with the last name beginning with C in this race. Random fact, but interesting. It's a slightly different start this year to what it's normally been, but it's quite good that they have this fast straight, well not really straight, but this fast road section where the riders can spread out a bit before the icy bomb holes, which are over on the left here.
Why are they going across the road?
So our riders are just coming into the second pit and soon the finish before they come round to the camber section where we are right now. A couple of the riders are actually going into the pits, which is unusual considering it's still the first lap. Thomas Mean, one of the favourites for this race, was in fact going through the pits. So, we'll see if that pays off. Okay, so our front riders are just coming into the hurdles there. Quite a lot of them are hopping those. They're probably one of the only races where they are. Oh, somebody does seem to have a problem though. Can't quite see. But yeah, our riders should be coming in just here where we are right now.
I don't know, just trying to get it.
Just waiting around this mystery corner, see who will come in first. Looks like that is Thomas Mean.
Come on, Thomas.
And then Thomas Mean number 2, and then close behind him, Alfie Amy. Cameron Mason number 1, seems to have a mullet. Number 9, not quite sure who that is, coming in 4th place, sorry. And then number 8 and number 18, he's gained quite a few places, Derby Mercury rider. Number 5, I believe that is Dan Barnes, just being overtaken there by his brother Toby Barnes, and one of the Scott Pioneer DJ riders. Joel Hurt here, number 15.
Go on, Joel.
Pretty gritty rider there. You can just see these riders dancing on their tiptoes, trying to get around the course. And this is Lewis, he's the Scottish rider from number 7. Up there as well, number 9, Tom Scott. Not a cross race unless you have Shibden riders in there. Oh, just slipping over. A lot of people have been caught out by that stake today. There's Nick Craig, number 48, I believe, Paul Oldham as well. Another one of our River Verge riders. Nick Craig just riding that with his foot out there. See if he can make it. Nicely ridden there by Nick Craig, although he does crash at the bottom. Nick Craig there's just crashed, come right into the fence. Earlier there was somebody who just slid right under the netting, and I thought that was going to happen again with Nick Craig just then.
Yeah.
So a few crashes on our opening lap. The medical tent will be busy today. So our just riders coming over there. So it is Thomas in the lead, followed by Cameron Mason and Alfie Amy. So those 3 together with a bit of a gap on the rest of the field. So Cameron Mason there just closing back to Thomas. They've also distanced Alfie Amy. Just the battle we were hoping for.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god! Oh god!
Oh! So somebody there just really stuck on there. We've just seen that happen quite a few times. People trying to grab on the poles, losing their footing and just sliding right down into the bank, especially because it's a camber. It means that if you lose your footing, then you're going to be at the bottom of the hill in no time. So at the front we have Thomas Mean, followed by Cameron Mason, who seems to be sporting a new haircut. And their bikes look like they've been sat in the mud for years, but it's only the first lap. He's gone, you can see our mag speed racer there, taking the outside line, which isn't very common. We've seen quite a few riders from the Inspire team, like Rider 64 down there. Great to see so many fans out here today supporting the riders at Cyclocross Gravesend. And we've just seen, I can see in the distance there, some of the pit crew got something slightly wrong. There've been a few drop bikes over there in the pits. Easy to do when it's so chaotic, and it surely will be in this race because of the mud. So right now we have Cameron Mason in second place, who is just fractions of a second behind Thomas Mean, and then actually it seems as though Thomas Mean has distanced Cameron Mason slightly, and then just behind them is Alfie Amy. So Cameron Mason is defending his title and has been for the last 2 years, although Thomas Mean, so in the 2024 national champs, Cameron Mason won, same with 2023, and then in 2022 Thomas Mean won at Crawley. Both If I was asked at this moment who I would vote for between who I think was going to win, Thomas Mean and Cameron Mason, I honestly would not know what to say, because Cameron Mason, he's had a good season, but so is Thomas. So Cameron's best result and Thomas's best result were both in countries abroad. So his best, Thomas's best was a 6th, and Cameron's best was 5th. So yeah, they're very close.
I'm pretty sure they saw me.
It's quite nice that the course both starts and finishes on a road stretch, because it means that it's got a nice quick start and the riders can spread out before they go into the icy sections, and in plenty of room for sprint finishes at the finish line.
Cam Mason. No, Thomas in front, yeah.
So Thomas Mean is still in front, Cameron Mason just behind him.
Yeah.
Just wait here until the leader's confident.
That really is.
So here comes Thomas.
Come on, Thomas.
Thomas Mean there, number 2. He seems to have a bit of a gap on Cameron Mason as he just slides himself down there. But Cameron Mason not far at all behind, number 1. Riding for the Cyclocross Reds team. We just head over to the steps now. We can see the riders absolutely sprinting up. We can see Dan Barnes right now. He's in 3rd place, having a right battle with his, Toby Barnes in 3rd place. Toby Barnes in 4th place and being chased by his brother Dan Barnes, who is right now in 5th place. The steps here at Gravesend are one of its most iconic features, and we can see at number 10 there, he's just skipping his way up those steps. Number 28 there for Rotor Race team. Another of our Spectra Racing riders. And you can really see here, there's Alfie Amy, number 6. He seems to have dropped back quite a lot. I'm not sure if something happened to him or whether he's just a little bit behind. That is Lewis there, riding for Studio Velo number 6. It's interesting in this race to see the mix of people who hurdle and people who don't. There's always a mix in every race, but this race definitely has the highest amount of hurdling riders. Okay, if we head back over to the off-cambers, there's sure to be some action there. Alfie Amy has just crashed there, so he had a very good start, but the race doesn't seem to be going too well for him now. Well, I'm sure not as good as he would have hoped, but you know, we've still got plenty of laps to go, and I'm sure that he will pick up. If you guys had to pick, who do you think would win, Cameron Mason or Thomas Mean?
Yeah, boy.
Come on.
I would say my favourite for the race is probably going to be Thomas Mean, just because he's had such a good season, but also Cam Mason has too, so I'm not sure. Oh, just one of our Spectra Racing riders there, just fallen off on one of the icy corners. Honestly, I think on this section it's probably quicker to run from the start, because you're running up the steps already and it wastes quite a lot of time when you have to get back on and then dismount again if you're going to get off here. But a lot of riders seem to be just edging their way down with foot out.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You've seen it.
Bit of a slip up there from rider 45. So we haven't seen just yet Giorgio and Ben Capola, both of the brothers, racing today. If you're looking for some more cycling content, you can check out his YouTube channel, Giorgio Capola Cycling.
Come on, Eli!
So I've been talking a bit about the variety between those riders who are hurdling and those riders that aren't. And so if we go down to the hurdles now, we can have a look at which ones aren't and which ones aren't. Obviously, depending on the course, hurdles can save huge amounts of time, or not really matter that much. So yeah, we'll see. It was a real shame in the women's race to see Anna Kay had to pull out, but it was also really nice to see Zancrease taking the win today. Second place, Kat Ferguson, and third place, Imogen Wolf, for those who haven't seen the results. And as we come past here, we can see Zancrease there with her trophy. And showing off that new British Champs jersey. I mean, who wouldn't want to? if you're interested in watching the last 2 national championships to see what it was like for Thomas Mean and Cam Mason back then, well, they're both on my YouTube channel. The 2024 national championships at Falkirk and the 2023 national championships in Westmoreland, as well as the World Champs from 2023.
It might not do. I mean, I actually had it
This
in,
is
I
our
think
last
that
live
it's
stream of the
nice.
weekend, but if you enjoyed watching today's footage, then we'll release a highlights video where we have interviews from some of the national championship winners who I interviewed today and yesterday. Okay, so here comes Cameron Mason and Thomas Mean. They're both hitting speed, so I assume they're both going to be hurdling. Oh, Thomas just nips off there at the last second. We'll see them coming over the steps here as well. Okay, so Thomas Mean maybe did lose a little bit of speed there, popping off, but Cameron Mason just slipped out there, so they're both together. I'm not sure who's the better runner, but they both are pretty good. So Thomas Mean just really trying to get past Cameron Mason there before they go into the technical section. I do have to say though, I was expecting for them both to hurdle there. So this is Toby Barnes, and number 9. Nice hurdling there, nearly slipped out though on the last one. Number 18, Darby Mercury, he's gained a lot of places, although I can't see Dan Barnes anywhere. He was just chasing his brother Toby Barnes last time we saw. Here he is, so this is Dan Barnes there. Looks like he might have been off, hurdling them nicely.
Oh, yeah, I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, the guy earlier on when it went over.
Let me go back to the corner.
Nice technique from George there, the first racing team just in front of the quarters of the long squad. They go for this later side of the top of the entrepreneurs and Mason after having gone past them. Got the race lead through the fifth turn.
So yeah, if you love cycling videos and cycling content, as well as interviews from riders, where some I do have interviews from like international riders and lots of people, then you can have a look at my channel. So for some of the favourite riders, for example, on my World Champs video, there is some interviews with Puck Peter, Sam Gaze, all those really good international riders in that video, so be sure to watch that. There's Nick Craig there. always does well at these sort of courses. The roar of the crowd is so loud, and honestly I think if you were just listening in you could honestly hear just from the cheering and when riders occasionally fall off, the groans. Number 53 riding for Sherwood Pines. He has passed this point already, but I haven't seen Alfie Amy near the front at all. I believe something must have happened to him because he was right at the front. He was in 3rd place at the start of the race and now has dropped back quite a lot. Cameron Mason and Thomas Mean still glued together. That's Giorgio Capolo there going through. Another of the Mag Speed Racing riders. They have quite a big gazebo up here and supporting lots of riders.
Oh, that guy just definitely is so hard down there, dude. Yeah, walk it off. You're not funny. You're not funny. Huh? Yeah, my beard. Yeah, no one was competing on me then. I'm just so much masculine. More than that. I shave spiky like that. So yeah, I shave like once every this is like 2 months, 16 years ago. No, I'm actually getting a bit too.
You can see the steam rising from the pits there. They've certainly got their work cut out this afternoon. Not so much this morning, but yeah, this afternoon once the mud starts to get really clarty and sticky and it just breaks your bike. Haven't seen Thomas Mean and Cam Mason for a little bit, but I believe that might be them in the distance still together.
Get on. A lot of people with
Just riders struggling there, hanging onto the post for dear life as they climb this steep bank here.
Oh, back on my knees. What? I beg your pardon? That's pitched in. Come on! Keep going, come on. Oh, Thomas Main might be coming soon.
So there is quite a big gap between the front and the back of this race, but trust me, nobody is slow in this race. The back of the race are still really fast because it is the fastest race of the event. Okay, so I can just see Cameron Mason coming into the hurdles there, but I haven't seen Thomas Mean yet. So Thomas Mean now is just behind Cameron Mason. Okay, so I think Cameron Mason now has a bit of a gap on Thomas Mean. Thomas Mean is still over by the hurdles and Cameron Mason is just coming through now. Okay, here comes Cam Mason. So a smile on his face. He's coming past in first position. He does seem to have gapped Thomas Mean.
I've been on the same course as Cameron. Go on, Cameron.
Go on, Thomas! Go on, Thomas!
I have a question. Yeah. Why has Cameron got the number 7 and the number 1 at the start?
So that is about a 20-second gap between Cameron Mason and Thomas Mean. So fairly large now, it's increased quite a lot, but honestly either of them could fall off. It could increase or decrease, depends what happens.
So there. we're going to start a timer. That's such an aesthetic background.
Yeah, the pylon.
Some background.
No, just this.
So I believe it is a 18-second gap between Cameron Mason and Thomas Mean, Cameron Mason being in the lead. But they do have a huge gap to third place.
Respect you guys.
Where are you going?
Flamingo. Italy.
Oh, wow.
Italian.
Oh, my bad, you're right.
Whatever.
80s.
Oh, Toby's pulled out.
So I believe that in third place is Toby Barnes. Oh no, he's been overtaken.
Well done.
Number 9 there, having a great race riding for Marion.
Oh, mate, look at him.
Oh, and the Derby Mercury rider
How is he
too.
already
He's
there?
gone all the way up from 18th and he's now in 4th spot.
Oh, no way.
Shouldn't be too far in front of Toby Barnes as I just saw him by the hurdles. Here he comes. So this is Toby Barnes there. Oh no, that's Dan Barnes, sorry. Toby Barnes seems to have gone back a few places. He was in third position. So Ben Chilton, who is number 18 riding for Derby Mercury, he's made up a lot of places.
Guys, I can count it. Nah, it's Thomas Bainborough, like what?
So that number 9, Tom Scott for Trek Sheffield. Oh,
Go on, Ben.
Go on, Ben.
Go on, Ben. Come on.
and that is Ben.
He's hanging. Minus slip up.
Doesn't matter, last.
Yeah, that was Ben Capola in
I don't know.
Scott Pioneer DJ. They're a relatively new team, and there's 4 riders that I know of on their team, and I'm sure there's a few more. Casey Langton, who was in the Elite Women's today. Nick Craig, who's also in this race. Ben Capola, like we've just seen, and also Xander Graham in the
Because when you're racing at
16s.
that level, it's like running. It's such a good
Did you not have a pit bike?
It doesn't go towards points. Sorry, it's like 4 pit bikes.
Why is it usually then?
What? That was aggressive. Oh, Ben up to second.
I think my fourth finish the lack of Americans.
Oh my god.
Like Glazer.
Go on, Tom. Go on, Tom.
So number 15, just going down the bottom there, that is Joel Hurt. He has done quite a few races overseas this season.
Should we go to the...
So this is Will Weatherhill, just coming down here, riding for
migrate to
Hope
the
Racing. Just loads and loads of people getting caught out on that stake there.
It doesn't have the lever on the bike. It must be connected to the hook.
I mean,
And
it's
this is
been
Lewis here, coming in number
40 minutes
7,
they've been
Studio
riding for?
Bello.
35 minutes they've been riding for.
Go on, Matt.
Go on, Mac.
So number 3, riding for Spectra, again, teammate of Dan and Toby Barnes is
It's gold.
Jensen Young, but haven't seen Toby Barnes either yet, only Dan Barnes and Jensen Young.
I've had years of Russian days.
So he has had a problem, I think, because he was in third position and now hasn't been passed yet, and we're past like the top 20, I'm pretty sure.
As I stated.
Like I said earlier, not a Shibden, not a cross race unless you have a Shibden rider here. There's Nick Craig, number 48, still riding strong.
Yeah. These guys in their prime.
You know, he won a mountain bike World Cup junior. No. Steve, yeah. He's already won.
We've still got at least like 20 minutes before they finish. We could go down there.
Oh, back round 2.
Look at the ruts.
Yeah, should we go to the right?
I reckon we wait until Cameron comes past and then go to the ruts.
Come on!
Yeah, Peter, but yeah.
Oh,
Come on!
another slip there from number 37. Yeah, number 7, who's just slipped over there. That was George Thompson for Rose Race Team. Just making his way back over there. So there is, you may think that this is the super technical bit, but there is a second part to the technicality of this this section of the course. If we go around here, there is also another slippy bank. So this bank, it's just crazy now, and all the riders like ice skating down the rink of that hill.
Very good.
So here comes Cameron Mason. He's in first place currently. He's bridged the gap over Thomas Mean. Cannot see him up there.
Good job, well done. Yes, it's certainly comes out a lot, isn't it?
So the gap now is it's a lot bigger than we expected when we saw Cameron Mason coming through. Thomas Mean seems to be quite a long way behind, and we haven't seen him down at the hurdles either. So good 30 seconds so far. Thomas Mean is nowhere to be seen. An outstanding lead for Cameron Mason. We'll shortly see him come through over there once he's been past all the icy bomb holes. And yeah, we're just still waiting for Thomas Mean. Sorry, we can see down in the hurdles that that Thomas Mean seems to have gone behind, because Ben Chilton for Derby Mercury seems to be coming through. Yeah, here he comes. So Ben Chilton for Derby Mercury has now taken second place, which is interesting because there was a big gap between Cameron and Thomas, but didn't know that the other riders had overtaken him. So close battle here between Tom Scott and Toby Barnes, Dan Barnes, sorry. And Lewis Askey there, number 8. Sorry, number 8, yeah, that was Ben Askey. In this race, interesting fact, a bit random, but interesting, there was a total of 15 people with a surname that began with C. Which I found interesting. I think Thomas Mean might have pulled out. Cannot see him anywhere. So number 11 and number 22, I believe. And then this is Toby Barnes. Or is it? No, it's either Toby Barnes or Jensen Young. I think it might be Jensen Young there. So that is second place rider just coming over the hill there, and that is Sam Wiley there. Not Jensen Young or Toby Barnes. It's been a good day out though for the Spectra team with Zankries winning. They got a very nice trophy as we saw it earlier. Joel Hurt there, number 15.
Go on, Joel.
Nick Craig there, always doing well in these sort of conditions. Well, in any sort of conditions, really. Great rider, Nick Craig. So I'm not sure exactly how many laps there are to go, but it's not too many, and I think it's certain almost that Thomas Mean is out of the race, which is a real shame for him. Must be some sort of curse on North East riders at the moment. Both Anna and Thomas Mean, Anna Kay and Thomas Mean having to pull out in this race. Both favourites and both had to pull out. So we have just received some news that Thomas Mean has had a mechanical. So yeah, Thomas Mean has pulled out because of a mechanical, which is, like I said, real shame for him. I just want to say thanks to everybody watching, because it's really nice when you see like nice comments from people, and yeah, just everybody watching and tuning in. And yeah, it's a really enjoyable experience to come and film at a race like this. Oh, I think after this race, then I might go get some chips from the Belgian Fritz van. They've had plenty of customers over the weekend. Yeah, they have the biggest collection of chip sauces that I've seen before. If you ever have to try it, I do recommend their spicy tomato sauce. It's very nice. these two riders seem to have pulled out. We've seen that with a lot of the riders today, really, really tough conditions.
Do you know who's in second? Oh, no, not second. The one in the yellow. When you come to the table.
So this is second place, I believe. Yeah, Ben Chilton, who's in second place, dismounting over the hurdles. And that is Dan Barnes there. Ben Askey, number 8, he's gone in 4th place, I believe. Nice hurdling there. I'd love to see in the comments and on YouTube everybody watching from like all over the world.
Yeah.
So far away. I had to do it. Maybe. Maybe.
So, basically, what I'm not sure. It's been an interesting race today. Maybe it's not quite the closest race that we thought we were going to get from Cameron Mason and Thomas Mean, but certainly an interesting race. And yeah, there's been a lot of interesting, mishaps and adventures, we'll say, in the race today. Just head over to the finish to check how many laps to go. I'm gonna guess about 2 laps to go, maybe, but it was a long race for them, doing 8 laps.
So really quick, these riders now keeping that bike together, not putting it under any untoward stress. And let's not get into push on here.
Yep, 2 laps to go.
We'll run the full figure from the Hope Safe Factory racing vehicles into the hurdles. And one of the riders who's really grown up with off-road racing, and of course the team sponsored by Hopec up in Barnoldswick in the northwest of the country. And really a big support for cycle sports. Look, lots of difference in between. I've got a fair massive thank you for the team.
So the next time Cameron Mason comes round, that will be his last lap. So we can see here the red and white of the Wessex Wallies. Everybody coming. So I don't know if you saw that, but Cameron Mason's just been through. You can probably tell from the noise. And so that is now one lap to go for all of the riders here at Cyclo Park today. So I might have mentioned this before, but if you like the video today, then watch out, because there will be a highlights video where I will look at everything that's gone on, the best bits, and also include some interviews.
Please remember, if you're moving around the course, there are still lots of riders out on the penultimate lap. The riders when they hit the line this time, it is going to be cool. So here we go, taking a look, we're looking for our second place riders to come into sight. If it's the Mercury, that means that it's Ben Shilton. If it's the blue and the yellow of the Fox Trek Racing, Fox Valley Racing team from Sheffield, that means it's going to be...
So the current second place, Ben Chilton, can't say was one I was expecting. He's a bit of a, I don't know, random card in the mix, but yeah, really well done to him. Okay, so I think we're watching now on the finish line, ready for Cam Mason to come round for the win.
Competition, and of course take away some great medals in the elite competition, senior competition as well. So that was with Walnut to go and the conversation's played Scott, where's Wally up in this case, where's Big Wally, because the guy with the mic is going to move out and move out here. So we're up here to Cyclo Park as we see our second place rider come down in towards the pit here. It's the tall 6'7" figure. Ben Chilton making his way up this straight. I think we'll go down in the pit there, ready to throw the bike up as well. So the Derby squad, that's Kirstie and Kelly, also Chilton ready with that bike.
So the crowds are gathering at the finish line of the National Champs in Cyclo Park 2025. If nothing awful goes on, then it should be Cameron Mason for the win, which I'm sure many people will be very happy about. Ben Chilton for Derby Mercury just going round for his last lap. The gap is crazy between first and second. Such a good atmosphere here as the crowd is egging everybody on. Super happy to be here and watching the National Championships, which is obviously always a very special event.
Bars in the green and gold.
Oh, there's somebody in red with a mechanical. Hopefully not Cameron Mason. No, that's just somebody in the pits. So third position is Tom Scott at the moment. So our standings are Cameron Mason, Ben Chilton, I believe, and then Tom Scott.
So Cameron Mason, the race leader, and he should be coming round to collect his son, who has been beating for like the New Jersey, the green version of it when it comes round on the lower section.
So unless something awful happens, then this should be the third year in a row that Cameron Mason has won the national championships, which is a huge achievement for him, and I'm sure he'll be very happy to show that jersey off in the World Championships, hopefully.
Of the pickup race here of 2019, and did honestly trying to play the money clear from the race to the race. Continuing now, all on the look on the stage, and he will start taking a share. A little while before he gets here, we're still sitting on one side of one more last go, and we're going to go and find the one in the it's not all over because Gibson is behind, and young man Gibson, Robson close down on Simon Wiley, they're going to take that battle out onto the last lap here at Cyclocross. What a race we've had here, what a series of races, right from the very first row race, our Masters race, right the way through a Newport racing into the junior.
Let's see if we can take a little look about where Cameron Mason is on our course right now.
Female racer here today, Cyclocross in our last session again. We're seeing an incredible race here where runners really finding the fight and themselves together. Incredibly proud of the race here. And we're under the doors and that finish is pretty fantastic as these riders go to out onto their
It's such an atmosphere to be here at the finish line. These barriers really are a great installment because it just means everybody's there supporting and making so much noise.
There's camera over there, isn't it? Right in the red.
Calling, grab a coffee, support the people who are supporting your sport. We are the team here at Cyclocross charity, focusing on the racing, dependent on the donations from yourself from the funds raised during the event.
Okay, so Cameron Mason has just gone past the first pit. He'll then go off to the far side, take a couple of corners. He'll be back on the other side of the pits, and then he should be coming around onto the left corner and down to the finish straight, where I'm sure he'll be greeted by a huge applause. And the national champs jersey.
It's time to make some noise already. So now for a lap to go with the man who is going to get that checkered flag. Right on the floor here. He makes his way up. Goes to that pit section. He's been doing some more to those straight from the left green on the side here. It's moving center. It takes a special kind of rider to ride away from everybody. Just going to inside. And the moment with seven racing riders round the right and right of his racing. With a few persons now seen him in the first, and that's what's coming racing for them.
And here he comes, Cameron Mason, ready to take the lead.
Defending that title, so and the running clear from everybody.
Well, that was a joy to watch. He seemed so happy, which is always nice to see. So yeah, what an amazing race. Maybe it's not quite the race we were planning for, but yeah, still a great race, and so nice to see Cameron Mason do well after he's been going well all season. Shame for Thomas Mean, but the races aren't always that good. So yeah, I think that's about it for our race things. So yeah, make sure that you have a look out for our highlights, which will have some interviews in it. And yeah, if you haven't watched them, watch the other live streams, which is the youths and also the elite women's from today. Bye.